Originally, I thought you were
Thank you for this margarita, buddy. This is, guys, I know I drank a lot last night, but hey, it's never too early to get back going. You know, it's gonna be a nice day here. I'm staying another night, of course. And at 4, we're gonna be doing that valve adjustment. And Hades wants to get that element over there. Look at that thing, it's drifting. It's drifting. Get it, get it. Yeah. Oh God, that is so good. Oh, watermelon margarita, thank you.
Mangoes are also amazing.
Oh, I do love mango. Oh my God.
So flavorful.
Well, howdy there, partner. How was the trip back down here from your cabin? You're not going back?
I gave the map to Joseph. He said,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. No, don't be sorry to him. He's fine. He deserved it. No.
Valve adjustment from start to finish, and I'll show you guys all the tools that I use. I'll kind of lay stuff out on the ground instead of putting it back in the toolbox so that you can take a picture and get an idea of what kind of tools you'll need. The first thing I do when I show up is, this is just for my own peace of mind, but I start the car and turn the wheels all the way to the right, and this is going to give us access to the crankshaft. Yeah, so we turn the engine from the crankshaft. I've heard of some mechanics trying to do it from the power steering pump, but I've seen a lot of issues with the power steering system on the Element, so I really am not an advocate for turning the engine over from the power steering pump. So we're going to go right to the crankshaft, and that's important for timing as well. What we're doing right now is basically adjusting how the engine is opening and closing, and being able to line up what's called top dead center accurately is best done from the crankshaft. So what I use is this breaker bar with an extension, and there's a cutout in the plastic in the fender here, and you just push it through. Velcro recently changed. There used to be 4 more seals in here, and I'm not really sure what their decision on not having that like that anymore, but this is the valve cover gasket. These are the grommets that hold the valve cover down. There's rubber on the underside of them, and then these grommets go on the underside of the valve cover. So we replace everything that is rubber in this repair. Like these, I do about 100 valve adjustments a year, and I replace this yearly. So if you were to buy one of these, you'd have it for a very long time.
And the name again and where you purchased?
It's called an oil spill mat, and it's in the automotive section at Walmart. It's folded up like how I had it too. And then as far as spark plugs go, NGK laser iridium, these are the original for the car. There is a Denso equivalent of it. If these are not available, they're only about $1 cheaper. So honestly, these are the only ones that I recommend. Spark plugs, you really want to go from a trusted seller, an auto parts store. Avoid eBay, avoid Amazon. Yeah, there's a lot of counterfeits. And even this gasket set, I've seen counterfeit gasket sets, and I can tell because as soon as I start putting that valve cover gasket on, it just doesn't fit the right way. There's so many counterfeit parts, so I always recommend buying from auto parts stores. I buy these called Honda Bond. You don't need much of it, so it's tough because it comes in a big tube like this. But I'll explain where this goes when we get to this. We're going to be taking off this cover where it says VTEC. Is it a 6 or 12? Oh, 6. Always 6. I don't ever use 12 point socket. Now, I just encountered a problem that I see often, and I'll show you guys how to deal with that. So as I was removing, the acorn nut got stuck to the post here. You don't have to do anything with this, but there's another step that I like to be able to put these bolts back for so that nothing gets down in these threads. So if this is just easier up here sometimes. So now that that's broke, I'll just separate that back out. And I'm actually going to put these back post that's down here on this ledge, because the engine is actually tilted back a little bit, so a lot of stuff will sit in this area, and I don't want any of that to fall into the engine. So what I'm gonna undo now are the coil packs, and they have that post that I showed you guys that got stuck. 2 of those were in that, and the reason I chose to undo that and put them back is because I didn't want any debris falling down in the threads when I was cleaning. So I'm just gonna remove them all now. And from there, you're gonna start from the right. There is the coil pack and then the connector. You just take 2 fingers and lift up underneath the connector and it will pop out of place. Unplug it. It's just a little clip, just like you know, common car clip. So this is a coil pack. This is what's responsible for sending the ignition down to the spark plugs. This rubber piece right here is the part that they no longer include. This is not essential for keeping oil in or out. So I guess maybe that's why they decided to cut it. But I will show you guys how to remove these in case you do get a set that has them in it. There. If you were chasing like a misfire issue, that would be a time to move them around. All right, that's the coil packs out. I'm always going to do this manually on this step, but I do use my impact for time saving. I really like this 1/4 inch hex impact. I use this just constantly. This is the one that I've had the longest. It doesn't have so much power that you're going to break stuff. It'll actually not be able to turn if the bolt is too stuck. These plugs are a little bit loose, so I was able to do this easily by hand, and then I'll come back in here with the impact to save time. So that saved a ton of time because these threads are super long. These plugs look brand new still. I wish I had an old set to show you guys what they look like, but if this had been original to this car and it had never been changed, some more acorn nuts from the top.
And the right equipment.
These are pretty basic tools. I mean, so there are 2 on the back, and a habit that I have is making sure that I reach my hand back and hold on to the nut when I take it off. On the side here, so it's all just 10 millimeter. And then one more thing, I'm gonna grab a pair of channel locks to remove this clip that's holding this PCV hose in place on the side. So I'm gonna move that out of the way, and then I'm gonna open the jaws one like this. Grab the hose and just twist it gently, and then squeeze it or push it away. Now it's disconnected. So everything that's attached right now is disconnected. And we're gonna pop the old valve cover grommets off.
Oh, that's where they go.
Now, before I go any further, I want to show you guys a little trick that I came up with. When you get your gasket set like this, open it from the side that has the paper and cut it along the top. Pull the paper out. We're going to use that. So what I like to do is use this as a makeshift trash can. So I'll bend it like this, and I'll slide it on the side of the battery. And now I have a place to put all my trash and old parts. So that's where we will put our old part. I usually might have to fight it a little bit. When I first started doing this, I had one that was like Honda bonded in place. Someone had tried to solve that leak by just smothering it with Honda bond, and it was so hard to remove. But what I do is I go from the right side where we removed that hose, and I just see if it will lift up. It won't right away. In the corner here, there's a little rectangular piece on top of the intake, and this to this corner here, where this ledge is, here to here. This is the designated pry area for the valve cover. So this is I've had this screwdriver for a really long time, so it's very, very blunt. I use it for everything. It's one of those tools that just gets absolutely abused, but you don't want to mark up the aluminum block or anything like that. So when I stick this in here, I'm just trying to see if I can get it to lift up a little bit, and it's already going. So when I see that, that gives me the chance to grab I'll put the screwdriver under first, and then I'll get the pry bar and come under the screwdriver like that, and then pull the screwdriver out and use this, because this has more surface area. It won't mar it up. If it's already coming, this is already coming undone. Sometimes you have to kind of fight it and use that screwdriver trick and get it a little bit and then get the other one underneath it. But this one's working out just fine. So now that I've got that pry bar in the corner and I'm using this designated pry area, I should be able to just pop it up like that. I use one hand to push away the high power. You should be able to grab those tabs to get this old gasket off. But before I do that, I like to inspect it, because I can see oil, especially all along the backside here, that is coming out from the gasket. So can you guys see how this whole edge is in this configuration where this dip is on this side, because I'm trying to be like this, so I won't have that same range of motion from this side. So I just find the edge and then I lift up. Sometimes you kind of have to wiggle it back and forth, or smack it a little bit, or try a slightly different angle. These do get stuck in place sometimes. Whoa. When they pop off like that. Usually if I'm being really, really slick with it, real clean with the repair, I'll get it to pop off and then I'll just slide it down and move to the next one. But sometimes they'll break a little bit, but they're not too terribly hard to remove. Oil, and then just cover these in oil, and this will help. You just need a little bit, and this will help with the install. They'll go in nice and smooth, and it'll help them from dry rotting to the aluminum.
Are they a one-way?
Yeah, they are one way. So they are installed
With the little...
with the lip up like this,
Okay.
not where you can see
So the
where it
gap
dips.
goes
That's where it
down.
fits over the. Yeah,
The channel, thank you.
there we go. Gosh,
So I'm just gonna place these in. I'm not gonna
I know.
bang them, not yet.
Those are hard, kind of a hard plastic?
Yeah, they're just gonna give it a couple of light taps.
I see you know the song of my
Shape, the two tabs like that.
Now with that little lip on it, does that mean it goes towards the back?
No, the lips are just there so that you can grab it to remove
Oh,
it.
okay.
This will only go one way.
Oh, okay.
There's only...
So the lip is up. Like I'm going to
You do not apply a lot of pressure. The tool will do all of the work. If you don't apply a lot of pressure, it will not scratch. So I'll just start to remove all of the gunk, and I'll keep a rag in my hand the whole time. So this is the kind of crap that we don't want in our engine. We don't want falling in there. So
see what
this will take a minute to do, but if there's anything built up in that on that area, this will remove it without marring the surface.
Oh, okay, good.
The tool is just a little bit wider, but I mean, that was really nice. I don't get this all the time, so this is a treat. If it feels like it's rough or gritty, then yeah, run the tool over it, because it'll pick all that up.
So if it's rough, you gotta sand it down a little bit?
No, don't sand it down. You need a tool like this, or use a razor blade to just clean it up. This in the cams over here, to be able to achieve top dead center. And for that cylinder, that means that the piston will be all the way at the top, and there won't be any pressure on the lobes from the rockers. So I'll line it up, and then I'll have you guys, if you want to come over and see what it looks like when they are lined up. So 1, 3, 4, 2 when I do my valve adjustment as well.
One more time for me.
1, 3,
1, 3, 4, 2. To me, the indicator of how tight or how loose the engine is. This one barely has any play, so this is going to be a really good demonstration for this, to be able to show you guys what it's like adjusting valves.
So it should have.
Well, if it's, you'll, come here. Reach back right here, and can you feel how?
Am I going sideways?
No, you're just going up and down. See how there's just the tiniest little bit of play there? When we get done, you'll be able to move. It'll be louder. You'll actually be able to feel that space there. This, one of them, at least one of them is very tight for there not to be any room right there.
So that means it's not.
They are all different. They all have a different measurement on them. You're really thin, right?
Yeah.
This is technically one. And I'm going to come back and see if I can fit it in between. Okay, so one of them I can't even, so it's super, super tight, and one of them it actually is. So I'm just going to do this part real quick so that I can get my numbers down, and then I'll get you guys in on the, okay. So I've got one that's so tight that I can't even get a feeler gauge in. And then I've got one that is sitting at 8, which is definitely out of spec. They're both way out of spec. They're way too tight. This is
Is that common?
oh yeah, it's always the exhaust side that's going to be tight. But I've honestly done so many of these that I can say that I've really kind of seen it all. Sometimes you'll get one that's really tight and one that's totally fine, or on the intake side. So this is a pretty cool tool because you're able to hold down one piece and loosen with another. Once I have the nut broken free, I'm going to loosen to the left until I can get the proper gauge in there. But I'm not just going to stop there. I'm going to go just a hair looser because after I torque this, it will get a tad tighter. And I don't want to waste my time. So that, I don't know if you guys heard that, but the click is very, very, very subtle. Yeah. That's telling me that it's torqued. So I'll take, oh, I must have grabbed an 11 and not a 12. Yeah, my bad. But we're still good. So the 12 fits in there nicely, and then I'll go to the 13, and I actually want to feel a little bit of resistance on the 13, and I do. So that would mean if I were to put a 14 in there that there would be too much resistance. So right now I'm really happy with the spec that this one I just adjusted it to. Back the whole time. When I'm happy with it, I'll tighten it back down. Oh, this is the carpet. When they're this bad, when they're this bad, it's,
Will it have more power?
oh yeah, it'll have better acceleration. It'll smooth out faster after. Congratulations. Better fuel mileage, less vibration. It'll calm down faster on cold starts, and it'll have more power. And
So where am I shoving this bad boy?
so it's gonna go right here.
Okay, gotcha.
You'll feel there's a little bit of a gap. Yep. Yeah, you had it. Might have to go up just a hair.
Up just a hair.
Put it on the tip. Yep.
Nice. And then the 10 is the one that's going to be a little more.
Just a little bit more drag. Still in spec, but more drag. Because the 9, that feel, that's the feel that you want.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Wow.
Right. It's all about the feel on this job. And
that's wild.
That's why it gets messed up.
Thank you for showing us. All right, guys, I'm leaving the pavilion right now because she's basically gonna gap everything to the right specs and then throw everything back on. So we already watched her take it off. We know how to put it back on. And funny enough, I've seen Young Static do this before, but it's always nice to, you know, see and have somebody just walk you and talk you through it. A lot of people had questions and she was answering every single one. Like me, I'm just a very visual person, so watching Dana do it, watching Phoenix do it now, I feel like I got the courage, man. I got the courage if I ever feel like I need to do it, man. Hell yeah. For the rest of the day, I believe it's big chillin' vibes. We're gonna be barbecuing later. Miguel reached out to me and was like, hey man, I got some meat. Will you will you cook it up for us? I was like, of course, no, anything for you, bud. So later on, we'll be cooking and yeah, just having a good time. So let's do it. All right, guys, 6 burgers down, 4 already in the tummies. Let's go. Hell yeah. Man, what a beautiful day.
How many we got?
Fancy Jack Daniels. Mm-hmm.
Can you just pour me
Oh yeah.
Shooting. No, we're not shooting.
Let's go.
So we're sipping or shooting? We're sipping.
It's a special Jack. I have to enjoy it. Oh. Take a little sniff. Salud, guys. Salud. Thank you. Thank you. It smells really good.
We're sipping it. We just have little cups.
Ooh, that's spicy. Oh, I like that. Ooh,
So this one's available now. It came out in like December.
that's nice. All right. The last of the burgers are just about done. I'm going to finish these up, eat. I'll see you guys later. Later this evening. God damn, boy.
Getting all the suspension trouble now.
Man,
44 horsepower.
hell yeah.
Point 44.
So cool to actually see like up close and stuff.